Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here. Time for another Patreon sponsor, Blind Reaction. And this one comes to you courtesy of Shipping is Magic, who has requested that I react to Todd in the Shadow's Top 10 Best Songs of 2017 list. Now, you may recall that I did the Top 10 Worst Songs list not that long ago, a few months ago. I forget when exactly, but just fairly recently. I did that video, and it was pretty good. It was a pretty good list, pretty amusing video. I think I agreed for the most part with what was on it. Maybe not everything, but most of it I think deserved to be there. Though, I mean, I'm no expert on pop music. I don't follow it very closely at all. And honestly, I think most of it is, middling at best. Eventually, yeah, sometimes there is a pop hit that I genuinely do really like. But, I mean, it's definitely not the norm. But yeah, now we're going to be looking at the best list, and it should be interesting. Generally speaking, from what I recall from back when I was more into Todd's content, I tended to prefer the worst list just because I enjoy more just seeing him make fun of the bad stuff, even though that's mostly what he does. And it is kind of nice to get a break from that and actually hear him provide some good insight and just sort of go over the music that he does actually enjoy. So, yeah, I guess there's like a balance there, and it's good to have both. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad that this came up and I get to watch it. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be a good list again, though I don't really know. I don't really remember what good songs came out last year. I can't really think of much offhand, but I'm sure there were some things that I did like, and maybe I'll be reminded of them here. Anyway, let's get started and see. Here we go. What was this song? I recognize the tune. Maybe it'll be on the list. I don't know. Sounds familiar, though.
Okay. Finally getting this list out.
Oh.
I mean, I did get the list out earlier.
Yeah, you said the other one was on time, I believe.
Behind. Anyway. Hey, remember 2017?
Yeah?
Not a good year for mainstream music, right? Well, actually, I'm not sure how
did
I
you
judge
change your
whether
mind?
a year is good or not. Right when the year's over, I'm like, did I mostly enjoy the music this year? And this year, the answer to that is definitely no.
Okay.
But the further in the past a year gets, the more I tend to ignore all the shitty parts and
yeah,
judge
that's
it by how good the best
that's
stuff
what you gotta
is.
do.
And I gotta admit, the stuff I liked in 2017, I really liked. Granted, that could be because the rest of the year was so samey sounding that the good stuff stood out way more. Or
Makes
maybe
sense.
it was just how surprising this year was. No one did what I expected them to do. Acts I hated turned out great. Acts I at least respected turned to complete dog shit. Maybe I'm projecting, but it sure seems like there was an upheaval. But I will say this. I had extreme difficulty narrowing my favorites down to 10 this year.
Oh.
That hasn't happened in a while.
That's a good sign.
So you know what? Hey, maybe things aren't so bad. So let's get to it. We're counting down the top 10 best hit songs of 2017.
Here we go.
Number 10. We're gonna start off this list on a curveball.
Oh.
Boy, this is didn't expect this guy to ever be on a list of mine.
Oh. Who?
It's not that I dislike Post Malone, it's that I don't get Post Malone.
I never heard of him.
I don't get Post Malone because I don't smoke pot. Just not
Hi.
I mean, like, lighting something on fire and sticking it in my mouth to make myself stupider. I mean, no, never. It is not for me. I am anti-drugs.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Maybe I don't like him because he sucks. Maybe he just sucks. He makes these droning, monotonous
Wouldn't surprise
songs.
me.
He's like a rap version of the guy from Stain.
Oh.
This guy claims he's the white Allen Iverson. That's one of the harshest things against white people I've ever heard. Iverson was one of the most talented and volatile basketball players in history. And if you add whiteness to that, you get the love child of Jay and Silent Bob. Christ, I'm offended on behalf of white people. That's almost hate speech. But I don't know, man. I heard this song and it just hit me. My mama calls, see you on TV. And I'm not sure why. I mean, it's yet another rapper bragging about his success. And Post Malone has only been around for like a year or so that could all be gone tomorrow. Maybe he's celebrating a little early, but I don't know, I feel it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And when most rappers celebrate, you know, they go to strip clubs and they chug Patron, and I can't relate to that. But when I look at the empire I built as a low to mid-level YouTube celebrity, and I look at my splendorous apartment, my fabulous pre-owned Altima, like, and I hear this song, I think, yeah. Now they always say congratulations. This song is what that success feels like. It's not excess or partying, it's just the relaxed satisfaction of Post Malone reflecting on all the work he's done. Though I will say, it does sound weird for Post Malone to be talking about how much work he does, seeing as he looks like he just got fired from Burger King for doing whippets at work. Even Quavo seems to want to be done with his guest verse as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I have never related to a rap song more. Yeah,
that's great.
I made it. Number 9.
Once again, Katy Perry.
Oh.
What is she doing?
I don't know. It's sad.
What is she doing? I don't think anyone would deny this was a bad year for Katy Perry. Nothing seemed to go her way. Her album bombed. She did whatever the hell this is. Somehow the woman who was the hottest pop star in the world at the start of the decade became unfathomably mom lame. I blame the haircut.
Yeah,
and you could see it coming.
The haircut was a bad idea.
Stars who have a cult of personality who will be famous no matter what happens, whose fans will follow them around no matter what, you know, like Gaga or Beyonce. But acts like Katy Perry, who don't really have personalities of their own, they're famous as long as they have the tunes to back it up and not 1 second longer. Even I, the reluctant Katy Perry defender, have to admit that I never really cared about her.
Made some good songs.
Or at least I didn't until 2017, when the Katy Perry persona developed an intriguing new layer. Deep and thorough self-loathing. It's been obvious for a while that Katy Perry doesn't want to make I Kissed a Girl or California Girls anymore. She just wants to inspire little kids. She wants to make Firework and Roar. But a Katy Perry album needs a big opening single, so this is basically her attempt to make California Girls with a social conscience.
Oh.
How do you even do that?
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
The only way to write a conscious Katy Perry song is to make it about how Katy Perry songs are garbage and making the world worse. It's basically self-defeating, and I'm not comfortable with it for that reason. It's like a book called Don't Read This Book.
I'd read it.
It was also the second time in 1 year that Skip Marley dragged a clueless white celebrity into corporate-approved wokeness. Yeah. In fact, as someone who really loves stupid pop songs, I'm a little insulted. Stupid pop music is the only thing that keeps me going in our current whirlwind of bad news. We need happy, stupid songs like Katy Perry used to make. Okay, maybe we don't. Look, my first instinct was
it's a good song.
But as the year went on, and Katy Perry kept stumbling and looking sadder and sadder with each terrible flop single and embarrassing public appearance, Chained to the Rhythm kept sounding just...
It does sound okay. And
there were plenty of songs about misery and sadness this year, some of which deserve to be on this list way more than Chained to the Rhythm. But I don't know, coding the dread of 2017 and Katy Perry frosting just made it seem even darker than anything I heard this year. And to be clear, yes, all of that is totally what this song is about. I'm not projecting. You want to know how Katy Perry finished the year? As Marie Antoinette. Oh. Yeah, stay tuned for her next single, I'm Awful, Please Behead Me. Chained to the rhythm. I just wanna love somebody like me. Number 8.
Oh, Drake's cool.
I know, I'm sick of Drake too. Sick of putting him on this list. He hasn't done anything.
Usually he deserves it.
He's just... Hold on, fuck that. Fuck that.
I'm sorry. We'll wait.
Hold on. I got to start this motherfucking record over again. Wait a minute. Fuck that shit. Hey, y'all get some more drinks going on. I sound a whole lot better.
Are we done? I can get back to it? Okay. Well, anyway, Drake is treading water. He dropped another mixtape this year. I'll be straight with you. I didn't listen to it. I mean, I tried to push through it, but it's 80 minutes long. I listened to the album released before this. That's also 80 minutes long. Jesus Christ, that's 2.5 punishing hours of Drake.
That's a bit too much Drake.
Anyone who wants to spend 2.5 hours with him in real life, let alone on his mixtapes.
Harsh.
But I don't know, like, no matter how many times I hear him do it, Drake failing at his relationships never stops being compelling to me. Even Hotline Bling, that most tunnel-visioned, self-centered, head-up-his-ass song in his repertoire, has grown on me. And I just like the vibe.
It's grown on me too.
It's like an alternate version of Hold On, We're Going Home. Granted, it doesn't have as good a beat or melody, but the lyrics are better. Passion Fruit I like specifically because I have also had long-distance relationships, and passionate from miles away sounds very familiar to me, especially the implied failure to live up to that passion in person. Passionate from miles away.
Can't really tell if I like it or not.
Turns out
After
sexting
the full
is not a
song.
relationship. And speaking as a dude who is also in perpetual meltdown mode, yeah, what can I say? I relate. I totally see myself in Drake's moody failures.
Yeah,
Though
more of that.
Not as bad as Drake. Honestly, I don't know why anyone dates Drake anymore.
Wow.
It's like dating Taylor Swift. You have to know what you're gonna get. Oh, he's distant, drunk all the time, and having difficulty connecting? Surprise!
No. Yeah.
Number 7.
Performing her new song, Water Under the Bridge, once again, Adele!
Cool.
Yes, Adele. It is time again to praise Adele. God knows she needs it. Adele needs more praise. Why don't we all give Adele more praise and awards and shit for being so great? Isn't she just great?
She is. I mean,
God, I'm more predictable than the Grammys.
If you're gonna let me down,
it's a good song. I actually know this one. Yeah.
Look, the album's been out for more than 2 years now. You know what it's about. It's about reminiscing and trying to rekindle old flames that probably should remain out. It plays out a billion different ways over the course of the album. There was desperate pleading, there was resignation, there was... I think this one was sarcasm. But I feel like Water Under the Bridge is a markedly different Adele than one I've ever heard anywhere else.
Even the title kind of...
I mean, she's still got that booming voice, but she's looser, she's more relaxed, she's, dare I say it, more fun. I mean, I've heard dance remixes of Adele that remind me of Whitney Houston. And I feel like there's like a tiny hint of that in that. Like, I hear that and I think she could totally be a dance diva if she wanted to.
I don't think we need that.
I mean, that'd be amazing. Imagine it.
I prefer not to, but that's just
From
me.
what I understand, it's like one of the few songs that she's put out in the last couple albums that's not about an ex at all. I just kind of assumed it was because that's what the entire album sounds like, but this is actually a song about her future husband.
Oh.
Apparently, she was anticipating that he'd become a dick and brutally dump her, and then she'd have material for another few albums. And that just kind of never happened. This guy turned out to be the real deal. Well, that's just heartwarming, right? And maybe that's why she sounds like she's having fun for once. Like, even though it's mostly a song about fear that she's gonna get destroyed like usual, I mean, you can see the rays of hope and sunshine peeking through. And God, did we need some sunshine this year. So, thank you, Adele. Number 6.
Since then, of course, more and more powerful men have been held to account. They've been accused of some kind of harassing or assaulting behavior.
This has been a difficult year to be a fan of male celebrities or hear news about them or just know they exist. Because in the back of your mind, you just know. Me personally, I've been dealing with it by binge watching as much TV and movies by dudes I like, while I still have time before finding out something about that ruins it. Astonishingly, this wave of accusations has yet to really touch the record industry, so you can still listen to the radio guilt-free. But there
probably
have been
a matter
a
of time
here and there. And of course, the big one happened like a year or two before the current wave of sex crime news.
Kesha and Dr. Luke going head-to-head in a legal battle, the pop star claiming years of abuse at the hands of her producer.
This is a rough one to try and talk about.
Okay, yeah. I heard her new album was pretty good.
Kesha got famous
Didn't
playing
never
a
listen to it,
tacky,
though.
sloppy, drunken party girl. And she played it so well that I was certain, I mean dead certain, that it had to be just who she really was. But slowly we all kind of realized that Kesha had to have more going on. Like there were stories circulating about her having like perfect SATs, and there was just like a general lack of embarrassing news about her that you'd have expected. And then the rape accusations came out, and that was a whole thing that derailed her career for years while she tried to get out of her contract.
You brought the flames and you put me through hell.
And on top of every other unfair thing about this story,
Yeah,
I
this
was
sounds
certain
pretty
that
good.
even after she got out of that contract, her career would be over. Like, she built an image, and this completely destroyed it. You can't be a party girl after that.
And you said that I was done.
But the amazing thing was she pulled it off by directly addressing it. Her song is basically a letter to the man who assaulted her, and it is powerful.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Praying, I hope your soul is changing.
I mean, it is
Yeah, I
a
gotta
song about
probably listen to
forgiveness,
this.
but like the really condescending forgiveness that Southerners like to use to remind you that you're a loathsome piece of shit. It's called praying because it is a truly deep spiritual cleansing, in the sense that, being burned alive is.
When I'm finished, they won't even know your name.
Kesha says in this song that she wants the best for Dr. Luke, and I believe it, because what she means by that is that she wants him to be a completely different person than the piece of human garbage that he is. The only reason that it's this low on the list is because it's such an intense song that I can only listen to it every so often.
Yeah, that's understandable. I kind of thinking that
Still,
myself.
what a build-up, what a payoff. By the end of it, I am sure that Kesha has ascended into godhood.
Damn. I am.
We'll be right back.
Number 5. Let us now contemplate Ed Sheeran, who ended 2017 as the biggest, maybe even the only real pop star left in the game. We reached the point where Taylor Swift is now leaning on him to add some glamour to her career.
Yeah,
How did that happen?
I don't know. I
It's a hell
have
out
no
of me.
idea.
Let's be clear. Most of his songs this year were bad. Most of his songs, period, are bad. But he's still a very talented guy I respect, and Cash on the Hill is probably the best song he's ever released. He released it on the exact same day as Shape of You, and somehow Shape of You was the one that got big.
I can kind of understand why, honestly.
Broken
I don't, not as,
Ed
like,
Sheeran is
I don't
almost
know.
never this buoyant, and it really elevates the subject matter, which is just him reminiscing about his childhood friends and where they all ended up. I mean, I assume this is supposed to be them in the video, all his old friends, back in their 90s fashion glory. Man, Ed Sheeran was way more attractive as a kid. And, I mean, I liked his funky dance songs, too, but those were a goof, a joke. This is the real Ed Sheeran, and it's the most honest and most likable he's ever been. Although, to be fair, I did like this song better the first time I heard it, when it was called Summer of '69.
Oh.
No, I don't. Screw Bryan Adams.
Oh, wow.
Okay, fine. Yes, that is Bryan Adams' one singular good song. But I think Castle on the Hill at least matches it. In fact, it's practically a requirement that rock stars write one song about nostalgia for their youth and their old friendships, and it comes out in lots of different ways. Springsteen's is blue collar and beery. Seeger's is about sex. Nickelback's is constipated. But some
not that one.
Ed Sheeran should probably just go buy them a castle. I mean, he can probably afford it at this point.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Number 4.
A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. Usually doesn't rain.
This is Frank Ocean.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Frank Ocean does not make what I would call fun music. I don't know how I describe him. You know, laid back, drowsy, not fun though.
Yeah.
The most intense I've ever heard him was about being mellowed out on painkillers. He's basically the thinking man's Drake, I guess. And let's be clear, Drake doesn't have a lot of fun either. So a Frank Ocean dance track is not something that should really exist, right? Like, what would that even sound like?
Oh, well. Sounds pretty upbeat.
Man, I used to really dislike Calvin Harris, but more and more he's been getting on my good side. Calvin Harris just does such good work these days. He even got Katy Perry a hit this year.
Don't be afraid to catch feels.
And I liked Feels too. I just couldn't get past the fact that it was about feels.
Oh.
Do you slide on all your nights like this?
Now, this is my favorite song of his. I mean, it's definitely the most ambitious. I mean, Frank Ocean on an upbeat disco song. Like, good luck.
Put some spotlight on the side.
What is Frank Ocean gonna do? The electric slide to it? No, it shouldn't work. Honestly, I'm not sure it does work.
It does sound weird.
I'm fairly certain it doesn't work at all. But it's just such an ambitiously weird combination. Calvin Harris, Migos, and Frank Ocean. Like, I just wanted it to work. And eventually I just forced myself to listen to it until it did work for me. And it's just that, you know, that upbeat, Daft Punk-y groove. Like, I don't even want to
It's a nice groove.
I just want to enjoy it. I have no idea what the song's about. I don't really care. Like, I have no clue what this means.
Oh.
I had to look it up. Apparently, it's a famous Picasso painting.
Oh.
Buddy, you're on a Calvin Harris track now. You can't just go dropping classical art references. Also, it has Migos on here. More people who shouldn't work with Frank Ocean, but yeah, this confirms what I'd always suspected. That if they got less depressing beats behind them, I would totally be into their music. I had to. Look, I don't want to pretend I know anything about why I like this. I just do. Can't believe this wasn't a bigger hit than it was.
I don't know your nights like this.
Number 3.
Yeah, and now, Charlie.
Oh. This guy, okay.
This is wrong. This is so wrong. How did we get from there to here? How does that make any sense?
You just want attention.
Oh, wow.
My heart. Maybe you just hate the thought of me with someone new.
Okay, you know the bit on Family Matters where Urkel alters his DNA to make him not a nerd and he comes out all smooth and cool. You remember that? Is that what happened here?
I guess so.
The divide between
does sound pretty cool.
Puth in 2015 and Charlie Puth in 2017 is so bizarre and extreme that mad science is the only explanation I can think of. Though honestly, I did see hints of this coming. I caught him and his band jamming out an awesome jazz lounge version of Calvin Harris's How Deep Is Your Love. It's the first time I saw him have any real potential, but even with that in mind, the difference this year is some real Jekyll and Hyde shit.
I know that stress is karma.
But maybe it's not Charlie Puth at all. This song is all about that bass.
Yeah, the bass line is...
No, not
Oh,
not
no.
trainer bass. I mean real bass.
Yeah. That bass line.
Charlie Puth does not deserve that bass line.
Yeah, his
Whatever,
voice.
It's his now. He
Yeah.
found it, so he owns it. Like, I'd say this makes Charlie Puth our generation's Michael McDonald. Another white guy who should have been way stiffer and lamer than he turned out to be. But I also do like the lyrics. In the battle of the sexes, I feel like the girls have gotten all the good diss tracks. Yeah, they've been running up the score in that regard for a long time.
You're not coming home with me tonight. You just want attention.
Yeah, that's such a cutting line. You just want attention. Like a bratty child. Or a cat.
Baby, you just hate the thought of me with someone new.
This can only mean one thing. Charlie Puth has been dating Cher Lloyd.
Oh.
They deserve each other too. And what this really does is throw Adam Levine's failures into sharp relief. This is basically a Maroon 5 song done right. It's got a funkier
I can see it.
bass line, a falsetto that doesn't shatter my eardrums, and I believe Charlie Puth actually wants to have sex with this girl. Adam Levine sings on and on about hot chicks, but I only ever believed he wants to have sex with himself. Still, I mean, like, this is baffling. Like, how do you go from sounding like the Glee version of yourself to this?
Wow.
Can we check and make sure that's the real Charlie Puth? Number 2. Yep.
We were staying in Paris.
Oh,
To get
these
away from
guys.
your parents, and I thought, wow, if I could take this in a shot right now,
I almost made this my number 1. I wanted to. Because I hate all of you. And I can't think of a quicker way I could express that than making the Chainsmokers my number 1 2 years in a row. You don't tell me what to do.
if we go down, then we go down together.
And I had a lot of people tell me, like, come on, this is just a ripoff of M83's Midnight City. And I'm like, come on, that's what makes it great. In general, I like ripoffs, plus Paris adds lyrics I can actually hear and understand.
Let's show them we are better.
See, this song finds the Chainsmokers reminiscing about better times, when I guess they were studying abroad in Paris.
Man, it's better than the one that won last year.
And look, I realize that 2 data points isn't a trend, but this is the second song on the list about nostalgia for better times. Now, we critics are always trying to force our favorite things into the zeitgeist, but I don't really have to explain the relevance of a bunch of people all at once thinking about better times, right? Like, it's funny, the Chainsmokers worked so hard to look like such assholes, and it doesn't match their music at all. Just like Charlie Puth, I'm not sure how we got from where they started to here.
You look so proud, standing there with a fountain and a cigarette, posting pictures of yourself on the internet, out on the
Oh, so now taking selfies is perfectly fine.
Let me take a selfie.
You assholes. Hypocrites. Hypocrites is what you are.
They'll say you could do anything. They'll say that I was clever.
And there's like this glamour to it, like this rich, wealthy, 80s-esque, never had to worry about money in my life glamour, like living in Europe just to avoid your parents. Like, that's a long-ass way from the perpetual brokenness of Closer. We were staying in Paris. Get away from your parents. We were stealing a mattress. And more than anything else, I just love it when the dude lets loose. Like,
we breathe in the air of this small town.
The guy can't sing. He doesn't try to sing. He's never tried to sing, and then suddenly, we were staying in Paris. I know it's not Freddie Mercury or anything, but Andrew Taggart straining to hit those, not even high notes, medium notes. My favorite 2 seconds of the year. It's like a puppy learning to walk, you know? You did it! And now, real quick, some honorable mentions.
Okay. What do we got?
When people look back on the year, I get the feeling that EXO Tour Life is going to be the song people remember. I don't think I ever even heard it once on the top 40 stations, and I felt like I knew every word. If there's any song that sums up for me what 2017 was like, it's this one.
Never even heard it. Oh. Yeah, I like the song.
Yeah, I knew it was eventually going to grow on me. I mean, it didn't sound like anything else on the radio. It was just refreshing. Just like the refreshing taste of cool vitamin water. This stuff is pure diabetes.
Wow. Pretty much.
This was the last cut I made for this list, and it was a painful one. Man, imagine getting cut from a best list to make room for Post Malone. Now I feel bad.
I'm way too good at goodbye.
Sam Smith is getting better. I mean, that's a good sign, right? If even Sam Smith is holding my attention, I have to be optimistic.
Oh,
Jesus
this
Christ,
guy too?
He keeps letting artists I hate on this list. Okay, yeah, this was probably the most upbeat of the year's big hits. It was a
actually does sound pretty good.
Lifting song. There was just one thing that was holding it back, and that was the guitar line.
Oh. Yeah.
What kind of weak riff is that? Get some Eddie Van Halen on there or something. Jeez.
I could definitely punch that up a bit. Oh.
I'm kind of surprised how much new ground Jay-Z has managed to cover this late in his career. Also, this song has the greatest 3-second pause in music history.
OJ like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay.
that's I gotta listen to that. That seems pretty
In the non-hit section of the honorable mentions,
worthwhile.
I'd like to give a shout out to Haim, the indie rock Wilson Phillips. I like the dance moves.
Oh.
Also, I'm not sure why we suddenly were too good for Paramore. This should have been their biggest hit ever.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
And as always, y'all are sleeping on my girl Carly Rae. Come on, people.
I like it, yeah.
And now, finally, let's put an end to this.
What do we got for number one?
Number one. I've had people ask, why do I do the top 10 list of just hit songs? Well, I didn't listen to all the music last year. If I said such and such was the best song in the entire world this year, I'd feel like I'm lying. Plus, it keeps me from being too much of a snob, It reminds people that there are good, popular songs. And what even counts as a hit? Well, I define it as anything that made it to the Billboard Year-End 100, or if it plays somewhere in the top 20 at any time. My number one song just barely qualifies in that regard.
Okay, so we're yeah.
Here. But fuck it, I heard it get
cheating
airplay
a little
once
bit.
or twice, so I'm counting it. Let's go.
I've never seen a diamond in the flesh.
My big problem with Lord is
not this one, another song from her.
her
Okay.
smug teenage righteousness. That sense that
It's
she
a great
had it all
song.
figured out at age 17. Arrogance is usually a good thing for pop stars, but what with her minimalist vibe, it was like she was saying she was too good to even try. It felt like a starting point for more interesting destinations. And I figured she'd just keep getting darker and more heavy, end up somewhere like Florence and the Machine or Tori Amos. I was way off!
Yeah, I like it.
I guess it kind of fits that when Lorde finally stopped being too
prefer her
good
other
for
song,
pop music decided it didn't need her. Well, pop music got it wrong. It desperately needed her. And despite the song and album not really catching fire, I think this is the one that's going to linger in the memory. The shot, Grammy nominations, all the critical acclaim, yeah, this one is going to grow in hindsight. And to be clear, even though it sounds like a dance song, it's actually a really, really bitter breakup song.
But you said that you would always be in love, but you're not in love.
Apparently, she got her heart broken for the first time, and this song was the result. I mean, she's stalking her ex
I like that vocal
and his
delivery.
new girl
That's
on
pretty
social
cool.
media like she's Drake or something. She's still obviously very young. She's got those teenage blinders on.
She thinks you love the beach, you're such a damn liar.
See, here's the thing. Maybe he does like the beach. He just didn't like being at the beach with you.
Oh, yeah, that's certainly possible.
But I hear sounds in my mind.
But apparently the breakup set her free. She just sounds so much more alive, more fun than she did on her first album. And I've always been a fan of partying at the end of the world. And this isn't really about that, but it feels like it is anyway. It's partying in spite of.
On the aisle, be seeing you down every road.
And really, that's what I really wanted from music this year in the end. Like, the parties are still happening, we're still having fun, even if it has to be really angry, spiteful parties. I'm enjoying myself, fuck you. So despite what Katy Perry might think, pop music isn't blinding us to the miseries of reality, it's giving us relief from it. So, thank you, Lord, you especially. Man, isn't it great you got those Grammy nominations and Ed Sheeran didn't? That rules. Go you.
Well, there we go. So yeah, that was a good list, I think. I mean, I enjoyed his it was, I don't know. I mean, as said, I don't really have a good pulse on pop music, and in fact, I had heard very few of these songs before. But, I mean, it seemed, like, just from the clips, that these were mostly pretty good songs, and he explained why he picked them pretty well, and it was pretty entertaining. So, yeah, what more could I ask for? Even in the best list, he still works in some pretty good jokes and pretty good funny moments. So, yeah, it's fun. And, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else there is to say, but I think another good Todd video. Yeah, pretty good stuff. I wish I had more input. Just as I mean, there were definitely some songs on here that were mentioned, at least, that seemed like something that I need to listen to. Actually, that Kesha song, that seems very much like something I need to hear at least once. Maybe her album, just in general, would be interesting. And yeah, that Jay-Z thing in the honorable mentions kind of looked interesting. His OJ song, that's got to be amusing. I don't know. I'll have to maybe listen to more of this stuff and see what I think. Because, yeah, a lot of this sounded pretty good. So, yeah. Anyway, hope you liked the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.